Yeah.
It's like being directly get that light on top of your face.
Hey everybody, we are back live here on GameSpot's continued coverage of the 2012 San Diego Comic-Con, and right now we are about to check out the One Piece, courtesy of Nobu Taguchi. Nobu, thanks a lot for swinging by.
Hey, sure thing. Happy to be here.
All right, so tell us about the game that we're about to check out here. I will profess that I'm not much of a One Piece expert, so talk to me as you would talk to a 6-year-old child.
Oh, come now, you know.
Hopefully maybe like a really smart 6-year-old,
right.
but it's still a 6-year-old.
Sure, happy enough to. Well, first of all, I guess the premise is we have to know what One Piece actually is. And One Piece is arguably, or inarguably, the most popular anime manga that's been coming out of Japan for the past number of years already. It's basically a really epic story about a character named Luffy who goes out to try and become the king of pirates.
Okay.
And he kind of goes out on an adventure on the seas, comes across a lot of friends, enemies along the process, and kind of builds up the adventure from there.
Okay.
And the game kind of revolves on the concept of the game controlling these characters to go through a horde of waves of enemies that comes towards you to try and stop your progress.
All right. So we've got the demo running here. So tell us about the game here, One Piece Pirate Warriors.
Sure. One Piece Pirate Warriors, right now we have a demo version that we have for Comic-Con. Well, specifically for the show over here. We're going to be showing a character named Roronoa Zoro. He's one of the very popular characters from the band of pirates that Luffy actually carries. And he's actually going to be going through this stage using various different moves that's cameo to the actual anime portions. So right now you see here he's actually kind of clearing out enemies. The easy way to kind of describe it as how the popular term will be is it is a hack and slash action type of game.
Okay.
But the game itself actually features all sorts of different dynamics on the stages as well as different sequences which kind of brings out the life of what the anime is supposed to be about in the form of a game.
All right.
Yeah. So right now he's kind of, we have Zoro moving around here, kind of getting all of the enemies on screen. He's using one of his special moves over here to kind of wipe out and clear away the enemies. And as you notice, it has some Japanese text inside of there. It kind of plays homage to the actual anime and manga series. And when we wanted to bring this out to the States, we wanted to kind of make sure that it would become a strong fan appeaser.
Okay.
And as you can see, we've put very special care to make sure that it kind of follows straight to the actual art style as well as the concept and the themes that the actual anime actually portrays here.
All right. So just a reminder to everybody, if you've got any questions about the game here, feel free to tweet those at us to the @GameSpot account, and I'll try to get those answered live on the air. We've got one from... I keep pronouncing your name incorrectly. Eventually, I'll pronounce it @MadredE1996, who's wondering, this is a PlayStation 3 game. What about Xbox 360 owners?
Well, right now, because of the game concept that it was released in Japan first, and it was a very specific PS3 exclusive. Okay. Right now, we don't have any specific plans for the Xbox 360. Okay. For the release of the US, we are actually going to be releasing it as a digital game off of PSN. Okay. So for PS3 owners, we wanted to kind of give the option to just get it as an immediate download the moment we can actually get this out for distribution.
All right. Let's see here. Yeah, anybody else, if you got questions, feel free to send those our way. So I'd imagine this is a very long-running series, and I'd imagine it's collected quite a few characters over the years. How many of those characters do you get to play as in this game?
Well, first of all, for the fans, they'll be able to immediately identify this, but you'll be able to control all of the Straw Hat Pirates that has appeared up to the most current right now. Okay. And in addition, we actually do have some special hidden characters inside of there, sort of like an Easter egg. In total, we have 13 different characters that you can actually use from. Again, each one of these characters follows very closely to how they actually move within the anime series. And in addition, you can actually juice them, so to speak, using special features such as the coin feature, which allows you to upgrade your character's strength, introduce new moves. And there's a whole bunch of Easter eggs inside of there that really still needs to be unearthed. And we're kind of hoping that the fans that actually kind of play it will be able to play all the different characters and get a chance to actually experience what this One Piece world is actually supposed to be about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it looks like we've got some another character helping us out over there? Is that a friendly character, or?
Right. Actually, right now, the character is not showing on screen right now, but right there, we have a character named Nami. She's actually part of the Straw Hat Pirates as well, too. The game features a passive NPC co-op system where you can actually link to certain NPCs that's out on the battlefield. And by actually linking to them, they actually give different properties in terms of the advantages of battle. And it kind of provides an additional dynamic towards how you want to actually play the game, or how you want to kind of defeat enemies or clear the fields that you're actually trying to go through here right now. And right now, it's not going into it still yet. It should appear shortly, but we're going to be heading towards locations where, after you capture territories, certain bosses will appear within the game. Maybe shortly, not just quite yet, a little bit, but we should see one of the cameo enemies that would appear on from the anime series, yes.
All right. Yeah, just a reminder, in case anybody's wondering about that graphic on the bottom of the screen, that's our beta train that's rolling by right now. We're going to give you guys some beta keys, the game we're giving away right now. Guild Wars 2. Try to redeem those codes for yourself. Try to be the first one to do that, and you get to get some early access to Guild Wars 2. So how do the different stages vary throughout the game in terms of, you know, what the players are going to be doing, the types of enemies they encounter, and just the way the level layouts affect things?
Well, one of the unique features that we actually implemented inside of the game is the concept that we wanted to kind of introduce different types of approaches towards how each of these stages are actually being played. So even though this certain stage is more of the traditional style stages where you actually clear territories, there are actually other stages which allows you to work with the stage gimmicks, which introduces a different dynamic of trying to get around the different stages. For example, it's not in this certain play right now, but there is a certain stage where you actually use your character to swing across different platforms using different button dynamics along the process to get from one place to the other. And it kind of adds a different layer to the stage setup where it seems very simple on the map, whereas when you actually try to play it, it introduces a very strong maze sequence to it. So it kind of blends in the concept of puzzle factors with the actual gameplay, and that kind of gives a different tone and pace when people play the game along the way.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier that there's a lot of fan service in this game. You really want to make sure that those die-hard One Piece fans get as much One Piece as they can get in this experience. What about guys like me who aren't familiar with the series? How are you introducing them to the characters in the world to make sure that they're not just completely lost?
Well, I guess the one thing about it, and the beauty about this, is that even if you did not understand the actual anime itself, the gameplay is pretty straightforward. It is a pick-up-and-go style of game. So the way I kind of try to introduce it to people who are not familiar with the One Piece franchise is approach it as if it's a very easy, fun to pick up, fast-paced action type of game that you want to kind of play. And as you actually kind of play through it, the game will naturally and slowly introduce the characters to you so that you kind of build up an affinity and you kind of have a very structured feel of what you're actually trying to achieve. And hopefully that approach will also help people who are maybe fans of anime but may not know One Piece as well too. And it's a very gradual way to actually introduce people into it.
Okay.
So yeah, and the gameplay is very solid too. It is working off of the very popular Warriors series that the Tecmo Koei games are very used to, adapted with. So for people who have played that series of the game, it is also very easy to get into for this game as well.
Okay. You guys, if you have any questions, feel free to tweet those to us to @GameSpot, and we'll have those answered live on the air. I want to thank Georgina Perez, who is reminding me to drink plenty of water in this humid San Diego weather. I'm doing my best, Georgina. I appreciate you looking out for me. You know, you gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah,
it's not sunny out here, but it is humid and it's a bit warm, and I'm doing my best, and I appreciate the help.
Comments are always appreciated for that.
Exactly, exactly. Have you been able to hear much feedback from One Piece fans here at Comic-Con?
Actually, in all due honesty, to a certain level, moderate.
Yeah.
Moderate. I've had a lot of people asking for, hey, when is it going to be coming out? Or in the first place, is it going to be coming out? We've also had very standard fare questions expected, such as what kind of characters are you going to be introducing? Are there any changes? Will there be an online feature that's existent on top of the game? So we've had a pretty healthy amount of fan feedback on top of it, and I've also noticed that a lot of them are very, very rabid and very, very faithful to the series. So they've given a lot of praise towards the authenticity of how it's actually being deployed to the gamers. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun interacting with a lot of the fans in Comic-Con, and even if they had some critical comments to it, I mean, it's fairly appreciated because we need to find out what everybody's kind of looking for in the games that we're kind of giving out to the public here.
So @FullyWolf is wondering how long the story is going to be in this game, the story mode.
The story mode inside of this game is going to be following some of the major cameos of the game, and it'll be reaching out to a certain episode called the Marine Ford Incident.
Okay.
So for the fans, they'll be able to immediately identify how far it actually is, and it actually is playing out very, very far into the actual anime episodes. So gameplay-wise, I guess it kind of depends on how much of a completionist you are. But if you were to play, say, the main story mode, I would say it would easily take you close to 12 to 14 hours. But if you wanted to be very completionist, looking towards not only the story mode, but also some of our what-if modes or like the different facets you play with, I would say it would easily eat up 40 to 50 hours of your time, or probably even more depending on how minute you want to actually get into that.
One more question here before I let you go. @MyJet6 is wondering, any sort of challenge modes outside of the main story?
Outside of the main story, we actually have something called another log. That's essentially our what-if mode. But what it does is it actually has an extra layer of difficulty inside of it because you get to challenge some of these story mode stages in a different dynamic, playing all these different types of characters. So when you actually play the game, you'll notice some of the features might be slightly different, and that kind of adds in towards the difficulty level of the game. And of course, we do have a difficulty setting. So for those who are very exceptionally savvy of trying to look for something more challenging, I mean, I definitely recommend them to try playing the game from difficult from the very beginning. It's pretty hardcore on the process, but we like to see somebody take the challenge there.
All right, cool. Well, Nobu, we appreciate you swinging by and showing us a bit of One Piece Pirate Warriors. Can you go ahead and remind everybody out there when this game is going to be available on PSN?
Absolutely. We're getting this scheduled and geared out, ready to ship for everybody on September 25th.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. Really
Thank you very much.
All right, folks. That was One Piece Pirate Warriors. Now it's back over there to the convention center to see what's happening inside.